Hey traders, what a fun little open today. It wasn't really the craziest small cap trading day, but with Hertz, with their Chapter 11 filing for bankruptcy, that was kind of an interesting one to watch because yesterday it sold off 80%, hit zero point 0.4, and then ran up 270% or so. And then today we had another one of those giant bounces, and out of the gates we were watching it basically the whole time. Also pre-market I was watching it. I never ended up pulling the trigger on it. I know some of you guys did and cashed out really nicely. I'll talk about my thoughts for trading it later today. One thing I do want to kind of focus on is today we had a lot of lead gappers, a lot of small caps pulling back basically all morning, similar to yesterday, Tuesday. And I was saying, there's a good chance that we're going to have one of these small caps rip later in late morning around noon, and that's exactly what happened today. So we're going to be talking about the two ones that are ripping. I'm actually live in one of the trades, you're going to see it, but there is kind of one more remark I want to leave you guys with, and this is something I do say quite often as well. It's the two lead gappers that I typically pick out tend to at one point do something, right? There's usually something behind it. Sometimes I totally discount one if it's selling off too much, just like SFET, but those are oftentimes the ones where, at first everyone's looking at, and that has some power behind it just because, it's a lead gapper for a reason. So SFET sold off quite a bit pre-market, but then it absolutely exploded. Would have been one of the best red to green moves. While GRNQ didn't really do too much, but that was the one that late afternoon or late morning absolutely exploded. So it's kind of like this thing that if it's a slow morning, if the lead gapper has a slow morning, sometimes you'll see a really nice rally sometime later in the day. And then oftentimes, I get sidetracked by different tickers, and usually it's not the best thing for me. I've just noticed sometimes it is a good thing to pivot, but oftentimes, you pick the lead gappers for a certain reason. So sometimes it's really good to, remember that and maintain a certain bit of focus on them. Anyway, let's go to the charts now. Some interesting stuff going on. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy the content. And if you're totally new here, remember we go live every morning at 9:15 to review the watch list and trade the market open. I would love to see you in an upcoming live stream. So definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified of upcoming streams and videos. Questions and comments, leave them below. Let's go to the charts now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the recap video. So I'm looking at Hertz. This thing has been such a roller coaster today, and actually probably one of the best red to green moves that I kind of seen out of the gates. Although the sell-off was pretty aggressive, 15%. We usually only see between 6 and 10%. We talked a little bit more about red to green moves in yesterday's recap video, so definitely check that one out if you want to learn more about red to green moves and what we're looking for. But ultimately, Hertz, out of the gates ran 50%, got halted twice on the way up, once on the way down, and then here we go, another run, 50%, all the way to 1.5, and this is what we were talking about in the stream, actually 1.49. Yesterday, it had an 80% red day. So this was quite a significant pullback. And that's because they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and yada yada. So this one, and that's after, look at the long-term chart. That's after, being at $20 just 3 months ago in March. So huge sell-off. From basically $20 to 40 cents. So very aggressive sell-off on this one. We were talking about potentially trading this one, and I was a little bit biased because it reminded me of a little bit of direct public offerings, and sometimes I want to be a little bit careful. But obviously when we had this open range breakout right here at 0.95, I should have been getting a little bit more aggressive, especially when we were consolidating here. This was a nice 16% move. And again, even when I missed all this, I could have waited for a little bit more of a of an ABC pattern to form. We have the A here. This is a little bit of a choppy one, but then the C, and then right here on the D, we have a really clean breakout. Nice little pullback and then a continuation. So there's definitely many setups on Hertz, and I definitely missed some good moves. So I don't really regret not trading it, but it's just kind of good to keep in mind that even though that a company goes bankrupt, there's going to be a lot of traders jumping on it. There's going to be some people trying to trade this momentum. And yeah, today was a little bit more momentum than I suppose I was expecting. One thing to kind of keep in mind, and this is why the 1.5 area was so critical, is because the high yesterday was 146. So I didn't really think we'd break this high too much. We did by a few cents. So that was kind of a cool move. And yeah, so let's quite quickly see here what happened last time. So we had a really nice trade, or no, we didn't trade Hertz, but we had a nice little bounce here. And I'm sorry guys, I'm actually in a trade right now and I keep watching it on the corner of my eye. The only reason I'm not too worried about it is because this is a second half of the day kind of trade, and they typically tend to go much, much slower. So I'll show you guys that one in a second. It's a little, I don't usually do this on a recap video, but sometimes, you know, you're in these trades for 30, 45 minutes, an hour. So they take some time, and these are some long day trades, kind of the second half of the morning and whatnot. So I give them a little bit more time. So I gotta do the recap video regardless. So yeah, this one, I mean, from 0.4, this thing ripped all the way up to 1.5 roughly. And, you know, that's a 277% move, or just, let's say 250% move, give or take. And that's a huge move. So I think a lot of people were looking at that today and they were thinking, okay, well, this thing might absolutely explode out of the gates. And, you know, this thing kept on trending higher pre-market, and this was looking pretty good. So this is one of the stocks that I was really wanting to look at, and I should have probably paid a little bit more attention to it. But ultimately, I was kind of focused on GRNQ, our lead gapper on the day, which didn't really do too much. And I'll talk about that one in a second. But in terms of Hertz, you know, how I want to trade it, I probably won't be touching it anymore. Maybe if we have some huge pullback to like $1 or even below $1, ideally, maybe 0.95, since this was a big breakout zone, I'll probably look to trade it very quickly. But I don't think I'm going to be swing trading Hertz or anything like that. This actually looks like a kind of a nice little breakout flag pattern, potential breakout here. So it's good fun to keep an eye on Hertz, but let's keep going on. I want to talk about GRNQ very quickly here. 180% gapper in the morning, and then this thing didn't really do too much after that. It kind of totally snoozed here, which was a little bit of a disappointment. And remember, I always say you have to watch out when these stocks pull back more than 30%. They usually don't perform too well. This one had a bit of a red to green move here, but never had an open range breakout. It got stuck under VWAP and totally sold off. They had a catalyst about acquiring another company. It's a Hong Kong conglomerate. The nicest thing about this one was the 11 million float by far. That was really what was getting me the most excited on GRNQ. And actually, right now, it's absolutely exploding. Look at this. This is a huge move. Maybe we'll all see a bit more on this. I was not expecting this kind of volume to come in. I was waiting for something like this to happen, a little bit of consolidation here, maybe starting to trend higher, but we never really got that nice action this quickly. So this is a crazy move, and wow, it's good fun to watch. Got to think about this for a second. One thing I do want to kind of point out about, the gap and go strategy in general. Another one we were looking at, this was our second lead gapper on the day, and you just got to be really quick with these, because, this is another one I kind of stopped looking at, and it's because it was selling off so aggressively pre-market. But sometimes when these things sell off so aggressively and they're coming back to some critical long-term support and resistance zones, they can be some really nice trading opportunities. So 1.4 multi-month support and resistance. We had a high here. Multiple touches in this area, and you can see it pulled to 1.4, cracked it a little bit, and then shot up. This was an like 18-20% trade. This could have been super nice. So getting quick, you just got to be quick. You got to know where the support and resistance zones are, and then you got to jump on it when you see good setup. I was no longer watching SFET, so I kind of missed this whole entire move, which I got to say is a little bit unfortunate with SFET, but that just happens sometimes. So let's talk about ESEA, because this one I'm actually in a little bit of a trade, and I was actually waiting for a GRNQ kind of setup where we had a really nice bit of a run. So let's talk about what happened this one first thing. This one's gapping up 40%, 2 million float, Greek maritime company. They beat estimates, so they were up on good earnings, or I guess better earnings than expected. This one had a pretty nice pre-market chart because it was, it wasn't over traded. It was gapping up about 80%, and with a tiny float, like 2 million, you know that this thing can make some nice moves. And that's exactly what happened here. Market opened, we had a quick little pullback below 4, buyers came in, and then instantly this thing shot up 17%, got halted, and then ran up another, I think like 25% total or so. This was a pretty sweet move. You had to be quick here. I bought the dip when it got unhalted. And we had a nice little trade on this one, but it just, I was looking for a bit more of a follow through, maybe a retest here at 5, maybe even a continuation. We just didn't get that. I bought on the support zone, a little bit above it actually at 415. So right around here, because this is where we had the breakout at 409. So I didn't really think we would get a full on pullback like we did, but it still happened. So let's talk about the current trade I'm in. This thing was selling off all afternoon or all morning. And eventually found some support around 3.2, tried to crack this area a few times, but too many buyers at around 310. And that's multi-month support and resistance again. Right here, we had many tops and bottoms in this area. So we're bouncing off this area now. I don't really see it being the biggest bounce, but I was hoping that we would break this trend a little bit and then maybe have a break of 3.4, and then I would like to sell into the 3.6s. That's kind of my general goal on this trade, and so far it's kind of going a little bit slower, but maybe we'll be able to take some profits. I really don't want to see this 3.2 area crack. If that does crack, I'll probably be closing out this position and then I'll be taking a small loss. Otherwise, I would like to see a little bit more momentum. Let's go back to GRNQ and kind of watch this one, because this one's performing quite nicely. No GRNQ, come on, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Having a little bit of consolidation here, pulling back here a little bit. Maybe I'm actually gonna go ahead and get aggressive on this one. I'm really surprised this one shot up as fast as it did. I really like what I'm seeing here, and this could be a nice little run, because with GRNQ, I mean, 11 million float, this was our lead gapper that really, I think, disappointed a lot of people. So maybe it's just a late bloomer. Let's see what happens. In the past, a lot of these spikes, I mean, sometimes these spikes are really nice runners. And right now, we're kind of on our third green day. I'm kind of a little nervous that there's going to be some sort of DPO, direct public offering, and some sort of share sale or something like that, especially on a third day. You can see here we had a big first day. The second day was a sell-off attempt here to gapping up, didn't work. So you just gotta watch out with that. But there's big support in this area. So if we keep holding this area, maybe we'll see 2.5. I'm not sure. It's really hard to say. But sometimes if you have a slow morning, you don't really get any trades in the morning, you could look for these kind of patterns where we start breaking above the 15-minute EMA and then start getting aggressive. I mean, I might actually trade GRNQ. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm kind of fixated on ESEA. And either way, whatever does happen, you guys are going to know tomorrow on the stream. I'll obviously talk about it. And then it's going to be in my trade journal, which hopefully within the next few months, I know that sounds like a long time, but it's really not too long. I would probably say 3 months. You guys are going to be able to review my whole entire trade journal, see everything, study my patterns. So that would be a pretty cool phase to get into. But for now, you'll just have to wait till tomorrow comes, and then we review the trades on the stream first together. So that's everything really for today. I mean, so far, small green day, nothing really crazy to run home about, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the day and just kind of things in general. It's been a slow month, but we've been managing our risk really well. And sometimes you just got to manage your risk. You just got to, survive till you thrive. And I know I'll be back on a green streak eventually. It's just really a matter of time. So I'm excited to get back on a green streak whenever that does happen. But for now, I just got to kind of keep taking my singles, and I think everything will work out fine. Okay, I'm going to be watching these two tickers. Kind of a lot for me to focus on right now, but whoo, this is good fun just watching this one out of the gates. All right, guys, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy the content, and remember to subscribe if you're new here. We go live every morning at 9:15 to first review the watch list and then trade the market open every day. I will see you guys first thing tomorrow then. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.